It's your boy Yule.
I'm Margaret.
And this is where we talk about it.
And today we're going to do a little special mini episode where we talk about the Tinder Swindler, which is a new Netflix documentary that tells the story of a man who scammed women all across the globe.
City Boys Up. Yeah. So this is quite an interesting documentary.
Yeah.
I was actually watching it with Mia. Mia was like, you have to watch this. She watched it before me, but then watched it again with me. And boy,
a wild ride. Oh my God, yeah. What do you feel like what were your biggest takeaways, or what stood out to you the most from this documentary?
Oh my God, I can't even say, because I feel like it was plot twist after plot twist. I think what stood out to me the most was that I didn't feel the same way at the beginning as I did at the end.
That's interesting. What do you mean?
Like, it told the story, right? And then the way it concluded made me really think, what did I just watch? Whose side am I on here? That kind of thing.
Were you on his side?
I don't know. Let's find out when we discuss it.
All right. Concerning. You know, one thing that really kind of stood out to me were all these little side characters and accomplices that were sort of in on his scam, but that we kind of learned no additional information about.
Yes.
I heard that they're actually going to be extending or making maybe a different documentary about the bodyguard.
Yeah?
Peter, yeah.
I feel like that's not going to be as interesting just because why would it?
We don't know. We have no idea. We don't know what Peter did.
I like that there were so many side characters we didn't get so much information about, because it just made it more interesting. And I think the main ones were the bodyguard, of course, because he was pretty much the main right-hand man. He had those convincing pictures of him getting beat up.
Yeah, he was in the background
yeah.
Looking real hurt.
Had that neck tattoo that made you think, oh yeah, this dude's really about that life.
Light skin squint.
Yeah, I feel like I learned so much about him without him ever having to say a word or really
facts.
being part of it at all.
Yeah.
I think the most terrifying side character is Simon's baby mother.
Baby moms,
I don't even know what to call her for a
No,
second.
that's who she was.
Yeah.
She was the baby moms. And it was odd because with Cecile, who's our main character, the girlfriend that he swindled, who's really heavily featured in the documentary, one of many. She her second date with him or something was on his private jet, and the baby moms was there with the baby.
Yep. And
it turned out that she had actually been a woman he had scammed in 2016 or something, or years before. And she claimed, not in the documentary, but later in interviews, that she just thought that Cecile was just one of Simon's flings and that she didn't suspect that he was trying to scam her.
Yeah, which is weird because not only was she she met Cecile, right? She was brought around her daughter. I feel like she just was in on the scams at that point.
I feel so too.
Maybe when she got caught up or testified the first time against him, after that, it's you have a kid together. What else could you do but I guess support him?
And maybe she needed the money, and guess what? Your baby dad's secretly broke, so you do what you got to do, right? What did you think of his romance game?
Strong.
Wine and dined him.
Yes, I'm gonna tell you why his romance game was strong. Because he made all these things happen so fast.
Right.
I think some of these women were enticed by what he had, for sure. But I feel like as far as Tinder profiles go, his is top notch. From what we saw, it was he had the pictures of him on beaches, traveling, expensive, nice watches, all that stuff. And
right.
He wasn't a bad looking guy, so it was just oh yeah, why wouldn't I swipe right?
Yeah.
So I think on that aspect, pretty good. And to reel them in the way he did, the dates had to be extraordinary.
No, that's facts.
Right?
Yeah.
To them to fall so fast, to be wow, this is really something out of a movie, which a couple of them said a couple of times.
Yeah.
He had to really be going in.
Yeah. I have to say, I think to go for this kind of stuff and maybe not see it as a red flag, some of the initial stuff, when he immediately was telling Cecile that he wanted them to move in together, and he was yeah, $15,000 budget or whatever, I guess per month for rent or something like that. What I'll say is, I don't think it could have happened to a New York woman. And I don't even mean that in a good way. I mean that we're hardened like concrete. That we think everybody's sus.
Not wrong, but I think also it's the New York jadedness that make us think something how could you ever fall for that? Because We're New Yorkers.
No,
we'd be
facts.
like, nah, bro.
I don't get it. Yeah.
Like, we don't even give people like $1 on the street when they ask for it. So to get to the point where you're giving out exorbitant amounts of money and opening credit cards,
and just the trust level. Like, I remember one time I was with my boyfriend at the time in London, right? And a guy came up to us and he was like, "Oh, do you want me to take your picture together?" And we were both like, "Oh, do you want us to take one of you?" And he was like, No, I'll just take your picture. And we both kind of hesitated, and when we let him take the picture, and then when he left, we were both like, I thought he was going to try to steal the phone. We both thought the same thing. Because that's like, first of all, it's not... he
took the picture for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Not like, oh, he's just doing us a solid. Like, no.
Yeah,
there's an angle.
Immediately where my New York brain goes.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Even if like I want someone to take a picture, I look like, who can I beat up?
Right. Who can I chase down if they try to steal my phone?
If like I give them this phone, they can't get far.
Right.
Old lady, can you please take this picture?
No, that's facts.
Yeah, we're jaded.
Yeah.
But I think his game plan was tight. I think as far as it goes, his swindling seemed like it was super effective, and over the course of all of this, he earned about $10 million.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I think it was the other thing that was kind of insane to me was like it was almost just the way that he was able to avoid taking responsibility. Not like, I mean, personally taking responsibility, like being like, I'm accountable for this, but avoid legal responsibility because essentially he was able to say that he was just borrowing money from these people.
Yes.
Like,
it was like,
that's
crazy. Why they call it the perfect scam. It was almost foolproof. Like, he did it a little bit of time. I don't even know what the charges were that he technically went in under, but they couldn't pin a lot to him because
I think it was maybe traveling under a false identity or something with the passports. I don't think it had anything to do with him taking the money from these people.
You know what's interesting, what I thought about when I heard that, they couldn't really pin him for a lot of these things, is that they could honestly pin the ladies for it. Mm-hmm. From what a lot of the women were saying when they took out money from him, they were lying as well, because they were like, I'm taking out money and they're sending it to him or they're giving him access, and the banks are like, why are you doing this? And they would have to make up lies to justify why they were doing this with their credit cards.
Yeah, that's fact.
That's fraud.
And
like, you can't do that.
I was reading an article that some other woman, I think her name was Courtney, who he had scammed like a few years ago, actually did get charged, and I think she was acquitted, but she was charged on some kind of international credit card fraud.
Yeah, they're criminals. Yeah. Everyone in this documentary is criminals. That's the moral of the story.
That's crazy. Because kind of there was no legal basis for him to get in trouble, the women also had to be kind of clever and look for other ways to expose him, so they decided to go through the media, which I actually didn't think was such a bad idea until our girl Pernilla, who never even had a romantic relationship with him but was just a very, very good friend who loaned him $30,000,
very good friend.
Casual.
Margaret, you got $30,000 I could buy.
That's you know what?
We're
that's
like good friends.
The thing. I don't even have $30,000. That's why I feel like I can't judge these women, because I'm like, they're playing with money I could never even touch. I would never get approved for a loan. Not even one.
I think Pernilla's an isolated case, because I think she had money. She was like kind of balling.
She seemed like she was balling, but then she was living with her mother to save up for an apartment.
Oh yeah, this is right.
Yeah. And then losing that $30K dashed her hopes of moving out. So like, I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. But
she needs to start swindling.
It sounds like it, right? Pernilla, though, became involved in like a plot with the media to bring down Simon, because they figured that the best way to bring him down would be to expose him through the news, so that people would like know who he was and they wouldn't fall for his scams and stuff like that. Yes,
which was the absolute stupidest thing they could have possibly done. All right, I think it was great because it helped us put this documentary together, and did eventually expose him. But wow, the amount of danger they put themselves in and put her in just by trying to do this. Like, they put her in secret agent mode, and they were like, Pernilla, you're gonna go in there with no formal trainings whatsoever. Go in there, have dinner with him, whatever, and we're gonna go. When you come outside, we're gonna take pictures. Right. First off, did you need to do all of that to take pictures? Right. You could have been like, They also had pictures of him. He had a Tinder profile. Yeah. Take his photos. Yeah, like, do you need to see what he looks like? I don't understand. It was like, Like, what was the case they were building?
I honestly don't really recall why they were trying to capture photography of him there. Like, what the deal was. Yeah, they could have literally
just asked her, hey, text him and ask him where he's going to be tonight.
Right.
And they could have went and taken pictures by themselves without her involvement.
Right. And then the thing was, they did get caught and she ended up in some kind of, like, wild car ride.
Yeah, they threw her in the car. They were like, we got to get out of here. My enemies
My enemies.
And you know what? If she was to panic, right? Let's say like she didn't know what was going on. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. And like she gave herself up.
Right.
Then she's in even more danger.
No,
so
facts.
This whole media thing was nuts. Like I don't know why they would put her in that position.
And then to add insult to injury on top of that whole experience, he gave her a watch at dinner, I guess, to like make up for the fact that he had scammed her out of all this money, and it was fucking fake. She took it to a pawn shop and it was fake.
As expected.
I mean, yeah.
She said her biggest thought that night was, who's paying for this dinner?
Yeah, that would not have been my biggest thought, but, you know, she's an altruistic woman, I suppose.
How much of this was like, wow, they really got swindled for you? And how much was this of this was, wow, they took no personal responsibility?
Like I said, I don't even feel like I'm in a tax bracket to be judging these women. I could never find myself in this situation. And that is not because I'm smarter or better than them. It's because I'm fucking poor. So I would have to be the swindler. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's only one role I could play here. And it's the swindler. That being said, I don't know. You know, I feel like you can't judge people who maybe grow up a certain way where they just are raised kind of like naively and, you know, they really want to believe in love. And you know what? If he had this whole profile and he was claiming to be the son of this high profile person, you'd be like, who would lie about that? Clearly you could find out if it wasn't true. Makes me question why they didn't do a little Google research, but I mean, whatever. And then it's also like, I don't know, if someone takes you on like a second date on a private jet, would you be like, oh, clearly he got this private jet because he scammed somebody else? No.
And I think you're right in that. I think the swindle was definitely like super successful. Like, I gotta say, like, it was almost an art. Mm-hmm. Like, because he put together the Tinder profile well. Like, he scammed so many people that eventually he got to this level of success where he can get a private jet. Right. You know, and then use that to then continue swindling more people.
Yeah, so, he got people on payroll for him.
Exactly. And I think it was very successful. But at some point, right?
Right.
The personal responsibility for me is just like, wow. I'm not trying to victim blame or anything, right?
Right.
Because, you know, they were conned by this man who... Yeah. And I think at first, and the greatest part of the scam is that he put out a lot of money up front. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So you're saying, oh, he's taking me on these trips. He's doing all this. Yeah. I'm sure he has it. So it's not that crazy when he asks you for money.
Yeah.
But then to say, like, at what point do you say, oh, this is something I can't do personally on my funds, right?
Right. I mean, I feel you, and I also was thinking, like, when she was, you know, maxing out all these credit cards, taking out all these loans, like, whatever, specifically Cecile, at what, like, are you seeing the statements? Do you see what he's spending the money on? Are you like, oh, hey, you're on the run from your enemies, but you're on a private yacht party in Mykonos? Or even if you're not seeing it, are you questioning how he's burning through that much money so quickly? Because, like, my dude, if you're on the run on my dime, you better be eating motherfucking ramen every night. Like, I don't understand. What are you spending this much money on?
Exactly, right? Yeah, at least
why you
give
going
me a
out?
breakdown.
Like,
yeah. They said that he scammed her out of $250,000, $250,000. Mm-hmm. So I don't care if you were staying at the nicest hotels while you're on the run. How? Do you know how much $250,000 is? And how far that can get you?
I'm not gonna lie, I think I could do it.
Honestly, if you were on the run, you should have taken one flight to a safe place and then just
be hiding in a bunker or something. Yeah. Maybe you get delivery every now and again. That's about it.
No, you can't use Uber Eats when your enemies are after you.
I get it. I think that I don't want to discount the psychological effects of, I don't know, whatever this man's charms were. I have no idea.
Is this like Stockholm Syndrome?
That's what I feel like. Like, I think that some switch had to be clicked there. Maybe it's like at a certain point, you're like, this has to be real, because otherwise I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? So you just have to believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. Then you know what? I think, again, he's kind of smart in the fact, like, because when you take out the first $20,000, let's say, you could be like, oh, he definitely bought a private jet and dinner and took me to these places. And that's clearly more than that. So it's not like he's asking me for money. I'm kind of just paying some of it back. He's had everything up until this point.
Right.
But then, at what point are you like, Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good scam. I gotta say, it's honestly almost the perfect crime. Like you said, it's all kind of borrowing money.
Yeah.
He didn't really have a contract to pay it back.
Yeah.
No,
it is. Yeah.
It's kind of genius.
Would you ever give somebody that you were dating that much money?
Listen, me and I had this conversation, right?
Well, you guys are married,
yes.
So that's like, yeah.
Exactly. So now this is the conversation we were having.
All right.
I said to Mia, I couldn't even do that to you, right?
Like
Think about
now,
this. In a situation where we are married, I couldn't be like, hey, I'm in another country. Take out $250,000 in credit and send it to me.
That's facts.
I don't care if I was in danger. I don't know what was happening. I don't think there's any situation where I could ask someone I'm married to take out $250,000 for any kind of situation that I'm in. And we are married again.
That's facts. There's even actually like contractual obligation there where like your credit is her credit. It's still, yeah.
In that situation.
Pretty wild. Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah.
So dating, not really like.
I feel you.
It's kind of.
I take it you won't be donating to the Ladies Go Me Fund. They have a Go Me Fund. GoFundMe?
Yeah.
Go Me Fund. GoFundMe.
Yes, but they do have a GoFundMe. I have donated to it.
You did?
No.
Oh.
No. Psych!
I feel for them though. I do, honestly.
Are you going to donate?
No, I'm poor. We just went through this like so many times.
$5.
No.
$5. You can do $5.
I want to put my money towards other things. I think they'll be well taken care of after
like
this
Simon,
documentary.
you want to give him $5 for being such a successful criminal?
Towards better things, I mean myself. All right, let's think about one more question. Mm-hmm. Could this have happened if they hadn't met him through Tinder? Like, do we think this could have happened with a man that you just meet in a bar?
I think people have been scammed by people they met in person before.
Sure.
But on this level, I'd say no. And the reason I say no is because I feel like the profile sold it for him. Right. There's a little bit of gold diggery-ness in there when you like are looking for someone with jets and yachts and all this other stuff that he was putting on there. He was clearly flaunting it for that purpose, right? To say like, I'm successful, I want you to do this, and like that's really what the main pull is, the success. Because if you didn't think he was successful, then why would you do any of this, right? So if you met a person at a bar, same concept. He was like, "Oh, I'm the son of the diamond czar or whatever." You'd be like, "Okay, yeah." And there's no like visual evidence. Maybe if he pulled out his phone and started showing you all the trips he went on or something. Yeah, maybe. But I think Tinder really lends it to a big and wide pool, right? Because all you gotta do is pretty much swipe right on everybody. No, and whoever's drawn in. There's the match, there's the draw. Yeah,
and it lends credibility to the claims because you're like, who's going to post something this outlandish online if it's not true? Yeah. Who's going to try to front like they are the son of a diamond? How did he get the pictures with him?
With the guy?
Yeah, with
Photoshop.
He swindled me! So I do think in that sense, the act of meeting online, the initial first impression did aid him. He probably could have pulled it off without the internet. And frankly, he's been doing this since he was like, he's been scamming for a while, probably predating the apps, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what this is? This is just catfishing, but to the next level. It's catfishing, but it's more so personality catfishing than image catfishing.
Lifestyle catfishing. Yeah,
it's lifestyle catfishing.
No, that's facts, yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, what I didn't know before we started researching a lot of this stuff is that romance scams are the biggest scams in the world at the moment. In 2020, over $600 million was lost in romance scams.
That's crazy.
So, after this episode, I will be using Margaret's image and pictures to actually get men to send me money. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. Can we talk about it? It's going to have a whole new studio the next time you see this.
Yeah, good luck. I can't even use my own image to get men to send me money.
Well, you're using it wrong. Simon could have did it. On that note, be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. When you're dating, don't get swindled.
Bye.
Peace.